Right now on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, time for our monthly sit down with Iowa Ag Secretary Mike Naig. Secretary, thank you so much for coming and talking with us today.
Always great to catch up.
Now, speaking of catching up, you got to be caught up on some sleep here pretty soon. Just came back from India, just yesterday, wasn't it?
I came back over the weekend, Sunday night. We got back in, and we'll tell you what, it's a trip, but about a 15-hour flight, from Chicago into Delhi. But hey, you know what? We had a great trip, very productive, a great group. We had good meetings while we were on the ground. India is just a fascinating place. Governor used the term vibrant, and I absolutely agree with that. It's a vibrant place. It's a vibrant economy. There's just 1.4 billion people, largest in the world. And the other word with vibrant would be opportunity. My goodness, there's so much opportunity there.
And the fact is, right there, 1.4 billion mouths to feed, and obviously
Yeah.
from the agriculture sector, we want to definitely try to turn them on to Iowa exports and what we can do to them, being they are the most populous country now in the world.
Yeah, and look, they are a very productive. Well, let me put it this way: they have a significant agriculture. They're the largest wheat producing country in the world. They are a huge rice and cotton producing country as well. But when you look at their productivity, they are significantly less when it comes to their productivity on those acres than other places in the world. And you just flat out look at the demand: 1.4 billion people, all the things that they need. They're a growing economy. They're the fastest growing large economy in the world right now. GDP growth of 7-8%. They've got a growing middle class, rising incomes. They will have a middle class that exceeds 500 million people. Well, when you're growing like that, there's all kinds of needs, infrastructure needs. There's all kinds of food needs, energy needs. Everything from clothing to shelter. And so the growth that you're seeing there and the demand that's yet even to come online, if they even achieve remotely close to those economic growth goals that they've got, they need a lot more. They need a lot more production, and they want to be as self-sufficient as they can. I would say in that way, they're just like us, right? We want to be as self-sufficient as we can, but the numbers don't add up. You've got so much demand that they really do need to be playing. And by the way, this is also plays to our strengths, which is they've got to look at capacity building. How do they do more? How do they improve their genetics and their technology and innovation? And they will need to, I believe, import things like DDGs and soybean meal and ethanol, which they're already doing, and grains. And so I think they can do both. And actually, I think we can be involved in both sides of that equation, helping them improve, but also then supplying them with the things that we do so well.
So, may I ask, what kind of key takeaways did you have from your meetings with the folks over there?
Well, one, I'm happy we do business in Iowa and not there. They are famously a very protective place, and the very highly bureaucratic government takes many years for things to get done. So people will say, who are experts in India, that you really have to have a long view of this. Relationships matter. Very warm reception. We felt, we almost felt like we were at home in that. Culturally, I think we've got some real similarities there. But from a growth standpoint, frankly, I'd say it this way: they're going to have to get out of their own way if they're going to grow like they want to, and they're going to have to look at some things differently in terms of they're going to have to open up, I believe, for some imports just to supply that demand. So key takeaways are: have a really long view of this, try to really lean into those relationships. But I have to tell you, Dustin, there is just honestly no end to the opportunity that exists there for us from a grain, from an ethanol, equipment, technology, you name it. I think we'll have a long relationship and great opportunity in the long run with India.
All right, switching gears. I mean, you're back in time to climb in the combine practically and see how things are going. I mean, I don't know how close you are to getting going, but we know there's combines in the field in Iowa. And, as we've been talking about, the yields we've been hearing so far, at least from our end, have been pretty decent as advertised.
We had a couple of farmers on the trip who I know were in the combine on Sunday afternoon after they landed. So they were very anxious to do that. For us personally, we're just going to get going here a little bit on some corn that was planted a little earlier and see what's out there. But yes, I'm hearing, and except for the fact that you had those obvious places, especially in Northwest Iowa, where there was too much water. You got a lot of crop variability there, lots of ups and downs, and a wide range of moistures and those types of things. Then there were definitely some places where things dried out at the end. But again, I'm hearing what you're hearing, which is that there's some pretty phenomenal yields out there as folks are really just getting going. Boy, the 10-day forecast looks awesome for running. So I think we're gonna get a pretty good jump on this harvest season here in the coming week or two.
Any thoughts that any thoughts that you have on the harvest season and what we need to be thinking about, or things that farmers need to be thinking about while they're on the combines to prepare even for next year?
Absolutely. One, of course, is safety, and it's dry, and we know that the drought monitor has got all the state of Iowa is abnormally dry. You've got some D1 drought back. It's dry. It's going to be dry. That means we have to be thinking about safety from a fire standpoint. So be thinking about that. Do you have a plan? Do you know what you would do? Safety on the roads, but also, of course, we think this is a good time. Given that we had some rain this year, was some water moving, some dirt moving. I always say with folks, when you're out running that combine and you're running the grain cart, be looking at those fields with a new set of eyes in terms of where would a conservation practice, what's a grass waterway, buffer, terrace, cover crop, a lot of cover crop being seeded this year. How might that factor in? What changed this year? Where did we have some, maybe some erosion that we really don't want to see? But I think it's a golden time to be thinking about that. And then, as you put the combine in the shed, be picking up the phone and calling and talking to somebody. Fall's a wonderful time to be getting conservation assessments done and be talking about, construction either for yet this fall or into next year.
And of course, you bring up cover crops, so we want to talk about the crop insurance discount program you have available for cover crops again. We want to let our listeners know what we got going on.
I'll tell you what, we had just incredible interest and demand in our kind of traditional cost share program that we offer for cover crops. In fact, we kind of hit the top end of the budget this year on what we had set aside for that. So in fact, we started to push people into some other programs, private funding, but also into our crop insurance discount program, which is the one where you plant, you apply after the fact, and then we award or we grant $5 per acre reduction on your crop insurance premium next year. And so it's really a streamlined, very slick. There's no cap on the number of acres that you can use. We've had now, we've several years into this program, but you're pushing over 200,000 acres a year that are enrolled in that program alone. Very popular. I think it'll even be more popular this year just because we had to shut off the cost share on the traditional approach. So be looking for that. You sign up after the fact. Sign up will open up in December, and it's really a really streamlined, easy way to see that discount on your crop insurance bill.
All right, definitely good news to hear that. It's a good problem to have when you've got so much interest that you have to help them find other ways. But it's good also that you have that ability to help them find other ways, not just turn them away and say tough luck.
Oh, that's right. And but we've got our state Department of Ag program where it's $20 an acre and $30 an acre for a repeat user or a first time user, but there's all kinds of other programs out there, and so that was sort of the idea, is we can hand somebody off into this other this discount program, and again, there's no caps on it, so it's just it's really slick. I really would like to see that one grow over time. We've got sustained interest in that one.
All right, and then finally today, we obviously we highlighted a lot during the state fair because the signs were up all over the food buildings, but the Choose Iowa program and the work that's being done there. Now you've hit a milestone. Let's talk about that.
We're really excited. I'm thrilled with the progress that's been made here. We just launched the Choose Iowa brand last year at the 2023 Iowa State Fair. And in the year between then and this year's fair, we've signed up 100 members, and we have many more that are in the process of getting signed up, and they need to fill out their paperwork and they need to get their online profile done. But I have to tell you, Dustin, there just continues to be a lot of interest, and it's a variety of folks that are involved. You've got cut flowers, on-farm dairy processing, direct-to-consumer meat, fruits and vegetables, you name it. We've got, and we wanted to keep this very broad, wineries, beekeepers. It's just really exciting. Go to chooseiowa.com. That's always the place that I would direct people. One, if you want to sign up and use that Choose Iowa logo and be part of the promotional program there. But also, if you're a consumer and you're, well, it's, hey, it's about time to start thinking about Christmas shopping. And maybe you should be doing some Choose Iowa Christmas shopping. And you can use that website to get connected with some of our great members.
So for businesses that might be interested in becoming members, I mean, how complicated of a process is it to get signed up and become part of that?
Boy, it's really easy. Go to chooseiowa.com. You can find information there. But what I always encourage folks to do is you can also pick up the phone and call. We've got a great team in the office here. Maria, Reagan, Beth, they love to get on the phone and work with folks, help them set up their profile. Just answer any questions. How does it work? What do I get out of it? Or we love to, we want to serve our members. We want to know what kinds of pieces of information we can get to them. And a lot of it is connecting dots, just getting people connected and learning from each other. But go to chooseiowa.com. There's membership information there. It's really easy to sign up, and we've got a great team that'll help you through the process.
All right, Secretary. Well, we know you've got a busy schedule, and we thank you for taking the time to visit with us today.
Always good to talk. I can't believe that we're in harvest, but boy, things are picking up pace, and anxious to hear what's happening across the state, and I'm even more anxious probably to get out and do a little bit directly myself.